Hello, welcome to Photoshop Quicklabs. In today's video, we will be going over the toolbar. For the video, we will be using Adobe Photoshop CC 2025. We will also be in Workspace Essentials Default. If you are in any other workspace, your tools may appear a little bit differently, and if you've made changes to your workspace, such as pulling some of these out and having them floating in different areas of Photoshop, you can go to Window, Workspace, and then reset that workspace to clean everything up. So our toolbar is located on the left-hand side of our environment. We have a variety of tools that are available for you to make changes to your project. If you are starting out, one of the things I do recommend is that you go to Photoshop, Settings, and then Tools if you are on a Mac. If you are on a PC, you would go to the Edit menu and then find your settings somewhere near the bottom. So I'm going to go back to Photoshop Settings, and then I'm going to go to Tools. Here I can enable Show Tooltips, and then I can also enable Show Rich Tooltips. This is a great way to start learning your tools. Now when I hover over any tool, it's going to give me the ability to watch a short, quick video on how to effectively use that tool, plus the keyboard shortcut. One of the other things that you should note is that every tool has its own menu. So if I go to my Move tool, which is at the top, you can see that my toolbar here becomes active, my menu for that toolbar. And then if I go to the next tool, you will see that my menu changes, and so forth and so on. So each tool has its own specific menu. I will go back up to our Move tool, and there are some things that sometimes you may enable or disable. Photoshop will always remember every change that you make to it, including some of the things that you enable or disable with your tools. So for example, if I go down to the drop menu and I go to the gear, I can go reset all tools, and it will reset all my tools to the default. And then hit OK. And one of the things that happens is auto select becomes enabled. This is a feature that allows you to hover over something within your project, and then it's going to select the layer for you. Now this may be really great for some people workflow wise, but for others it may not, especially if you have small objects that are scattered around your project. So that means while you hover over them, you can inadvertently select them and select the layer with them and make changes to that layer. So I prefer to have this feature turned off. Also here it has the selection brush tool, which is a great tool to use when you want to select items in your project, but I sometimes prefer to use the lasso tool, so that's usually the tool that is on top. As you can see, when I click the bottom tick of my tools, I get a flyout menu that allows me to go through some of the other tools that are part of that tool set. And with those tools, if I go back to my lasso tool, there are different selections that you can make. So here, this first one is going to be that I can make a new selection. And when you hover over, you will see that it tells you it's a new selection. So that means anytime I click and drag, it's going to make that new selection. If I go to the next one, it's going to be adding to that selection. And then I can subtract from that selection. And then I can get just the intersect of that selection. So definitely going through some of the parameters in each of the menus is beneficial to learn how to use these tools. I hope that this was a nice quick rundown for you on where your tools are, some of the changes you can make to your tools, and how to select and activate your tooltips so that you can quickly learn how to use your tools. I will see you in the next video where we will start to dive into how to use some of these specific tools to make some great projects in Photoshop.